Family reunion vacation. On a family vacation with 50 family members, each member took 2 suitcases on a domestic flight. The airline charges a fee of $35 for each bag. If the bag is overweight, over 50 pounds, the airline charges an overweight fee of $80 for each bag that's overweight. And then it says the total cost of the baggage fees for the family was $4,310. Let X be the number of regular weight bags, Y be the number of overweight bags, and then they want you to find the number of regular bags and the number of overweight bags. All right. Can y'all see that? Make sure it's big. So, 50 family members. Each family member had 2 suitcases. The airline charges a $35 for each bag. If the bag is overweight, they have to pay $80 for that bag. And the total cost of baggage fees for the entire family was $4,310. All right, let's get into it. So I'm gonna write down what we know. So X is going to be the number of regular bags, right? Y is going to be the number of overweight bags. Okay. There were 50 family members. 50 family members. That's going to be part of our count. 50 family members. Each took 2 suitcases. 2 suitcases per member. $35 for regular bags, $80 for overweight, and total baggage fees now I'm writing all this down just so y'all can see it, what I'm pulling out in my head. You don't have to write all of it down. This is what I'm gathering in my head. Okay, so now let's in order to figure out the how many regular bags and how many overweight bags, we need to use what they give us. So let's do the money one. That seems to be easy. They give us more here, right? So looks like 35. So if this is our first equation, $35, right, for the regular bags, plus $80 per overweight bag should be $4,310. Okay, that's the easy one, right? So what our second equation is going to be counts. How do I know that? Because they told us 50 members, 2 suitcases per member, and they told us they want us to find how many, right? So because they want us to find how many, okay, I'm obviously going to need an equation for that. If each person took 2 suitcases, so how many total suitcases is that? If you take this, yeah, good, that's going to be 100. That's going to be 50 times 2. That's going to be 100 suitcases. Okay, so that's part of our count. So the number of regular bags plus the number of overweight bags is going to be 100 suitcases. Does that make sense? So that's our other equation. So the number of regular bags plus the number of overweight bags is going to be 100 because there were 50 family members and each family member took 2 suitcases. So that's 50 times. That's 50 times 2, which is 100. So there's our 2 equations. All right. Same thing on this one, I'm going to do the substitution method and I'm going to do the elimination method. Okay. So let me write my system because we have everything we need. So if I wrote it as a system, it would look like this. 35x plus 80y equals 4,310, and then we would have x plus y equals 100. That is our system. Okay, Same thing, I'm going to do the substitution method, and then I'm going to do the elimination method, okay? So here I'm going to do the substitution. Sorry, I'm going to do the, here we go. Okay, substitution method. And then over here, I'm going to try to do it over here, the elimination method. Okay, substitution method and then the elimination method. All right, for the substitution method, the easiest equation to solve for is this one, right? Yeah, because you could subtract y on both sides, and you'd have x equals 100 minus y. So let me do that. I'm going to subtract y over here. I'm going to subtract y over here. This will cancel out, and I'm going to be left with x equals 100 minus y. Okay, so x equals 100 minus y. And then I'm going to take the first equation, and we're going to substitute. Okay, so we're going to put 100 minus y here plus 80y equals 4310. I don't know why I feel like I write smaller and then I write. Okay, sorry. So now we're going to do the distributive property. You're going to take 35 times 100, 35 times y, and then you're going to add that to it. So 35 times 100, that's going to be 3,500. And then 35 times negative y, that's going to be the minus 30y plus 80y equals 4310. Okay. Now we can combine like terms. The minus 30y and the plus 80y, that's going to be, what is that, 40? Yeah, 45. So I have 3,500 plus 45y equals 4,310. So far, so good. So now we're going to subtract the 3,500 on both sides, so we can combine like terms over here. This goes to 0, so we have 0 plus 45y equals, when you put that in your calculator, you should get 810. Okay. And so now we have 45y equals 810. I'm going to divide both sides by 45. And you end up with y equals 18. Cool beans? End up with y equals 18. And then we're going to put this back in here. Okay? So we have x equals 100 minus 18. Because let me write the above it, x equals 100 minus y. That's what we started with. And so x is equal to 82. When you check your work, these do check out, okay? So I've already checked it, but make sure you get in the habit of checking your work, okay? All right, now let's do the elimination method, okay? I'm going to side this off. Okay, for the elimination method, it's kind of the same thing, and I'm doing it both ways so you can see you might have a preference, okay? So here's our system. You can either get rid of the 35 or you can get rid of the 80. I guess I'll do the 80 just because... whatever, we'll just do the 80. Okay, so I'm going to take equation 1 plus negative 80 times equation 2 to get my new equation 2. Okay. Now, why am I doing that? Because if I multiply this equation by negative 80, I'll have a minus 80 here, and I'll have a minus 80 here. And this will be, a minus 8,000, right? But because the minus 80 is here, when you have a positive 80 and a minus 80, that'll make it 0, and then that'll go away. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I have 35x plus 80y equals 4,310. And then when I do my negative 80 minus 80x minus 80y, and then 1, 2, 3 minus 8,000. Okay. And then like we said, these turn to 0. Negative 80 minus, 35 minus 80, that's going to give us a minus 45, right? That becomes 0. And then when you put the 4,310 and minus 8,000 in your calculator, you should get minus 3690. Okay, so we have minus 45x equals minus 3690. That flipped it, didn't it? No, it didn't. It's fine. X's and Y's. Okay, thought I flipped my X. Minus 45. Minus 45. That becomes 1, right? So then you're left with X is equal to 82. And then when we plug it back into the equation, we had X plus Y equals 100. We have 82 plus Y equals 100. We're going to subtract 82 on both sides. And we're going to get Y equals 18. And remember, this checks out, okay? Pretty simple, pretty simple, pretty simple. And I'm doing both methods just so you can see how it works and you decide which one you want to do, okay? Now, let's do an example with the matrix, okay? So let's go to that one. Here we go. All right. So yeah, we ended up with 82 regular bags, 18 overweight bags. Yeah, the fees be high, huh? And